Tapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, Haru Nefer, may Buddha bless you. This is Qesankh Ma Keparu with another exciting video for you. In this video, we're going to talk about how past drama can manifest. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. And if you're interested in knowing more about my spiritual teachings, you can download one of our free ebooks and start reading that today. The links are in the description box down there. But if you want to take your journey to the next level, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. You can cancel at any time. You'll get exclusive access to instructional videos, videos on the esoteric, videos on the spirit that will teach you how to meditate, who you truly are, how to build magical amulets, how to do oracle readings. And if you're an oracle or a Sarian contributor, you'll get your oracle readings for free. How to do self-hypnosis to curb overeating, and so much more. So become a Patreon supporter. Your support would be appreciated. And lastly, share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. Haru Nefer. Let me I just got distracted because I saw my phone went off. Hold on 1 second. There we go. What was that? Oh, okay. So let's talk about something that's very, very important. Now, there are a lot of people who are into the law of attraction and who are really working their magic and following the instructions that they may have got from The Secret or from the Dim Zealand's book, Reality Transurfing, but they're not having the results they're looking for. And a lot of that comes from energy blockages, and those energy blockages can come from your past. You see, just because someone tells you to visualize the thing that you want, embody the emotion of the thing you want, doesn't mean automatically you're going to receive it, because there are situations where you're not letting the energy flow within the meridians in your body. And this comes from, well, imagine it this way. You know how we have the tree of life with the different spheres, and each sphere has a deity that governs a certain truism. Imagine that all your belief systems within you represent an ecosystem. And each belief system is fighting for dominance. Now, the one that has been reinforced the most will more than likely win out. When you see individuals who seem to attract money, attract success, attract men, attract women, this is because more than likely they have a dominant belief system which allows that energy to flow, and it shifts them to that parallel reality where they can interact with the thing they most desire. When you are operating at a certain vibrational frequency, and you can hold that frequency and stay in that frequency, depending upon the frequency, those things will come your way. So if I'm operating in the vibrational frequency that I'm lucky and luck always comes my way, I'm gonna have an extremely lucky life. It's gonna be full of Heteru things, because Heteru symbolizes luck. But if my frequency due to the past of past trauma, past bad events with family members, school, if those energies are present within my body and I continually feed them, this is through what we call your reticular activation system, the RAS, meaning that when you have a belief, your subconscious mind looks for confirmation of that belief. So your reticular activation is going to be only seeing things that are in alignment with that belief and filter everything out. So you may be doing very well in life, but your RAS, because your belief system is not in line with that, is only going to focus on what you're not doing right. And this is the way we have people who are anorexic. They think they're fat because their RAS system is only looking at, is only looking at the fat that's on their skinny body. So we have to be very, very careful of this, and this is why we have men and women who can be very confident, sit in office, can be masters of the universe, because their focus is on only the things that they're good at and what they have achieved and what they're successful at, where their talents lies. They don't see the deficiencies in their life. They don't see the mistakes they make. And if they see the mistakes, many times they see them as opportunities or stepping stones to success. However, many of us, when raised with our parents, were not taught the right things. For one, my parents were very strict with me. So when growing up, no matter what I was doing, my reticular activation system always looked at how poorly I was performing. Even though many would have said you're exceeding expectations, I would not see it as such. I always said there's more and I'm not up to par. And people would think, oh, are you crazy? And this caused a detriment in my life with women. So much so that I had to speak with therapists regarding, and I'm giving you insight as to really my personal life. I was very successful with women because, and successful at sales and things like that, because I knew these NLP hypnosis techniques. So there was always women in my social circle who wanted to date me, wanted to hang out with me, wanted to do things with me. Getting a date wasn't a problem. I would have women call me on a Saturday night to invite me over to their place. Now, mind you, when I would speak with my parents and friends, I was like, I can't get a date. I can't get a girlfriend. Girls are not interested in me. And I'm literally driving and having girls wave at me in my car or on the subway, girls giving me their numbers. And I couldn't see that. I couldn't see any of what was going on there. All I knew was I wasn't doing well. You know what I mean? So the reticular activation system can really be a hindrance because it's not allowing you to see the positive things that are before you. And that's very important because that creates faith. It builds your faith. And if your faith is empowered, your magic is empowered because it allows the channels and the meridians to flow. Now, I don't want to sit here and say, I'm a Don Juan, I'm all this, but I had a certain energy to where I knew how to interact with people that was attractive. And I can emphasize this a lot because now you have all these dating coaches coming out talking about attraction, but what they're missing the mark on is that attraction is more than just a physical aspect to it. It's about an energy that you give off that can be very, very attractive and many times supersede the physical aspect, especially when it comes to women. When you exude the right frequency, the thing that you want will be attracted to you, the money, the house, the car, the lifestyle. But you must first embody that. And the way to embody that is you're going to first have to take a look at your past and say, what drama am I bringing to the table? What happened in my past that is damming up and blocking the energy from flowing properly? What's happening through social engineering that's preventing me from understanding that I am lucky, that I am successful? Now you have a whole marketing machine that is predicated on making women seem like there's something wrong with them and they're not good enough and they have to buy more makeup and get body augmentation and all of this. So you have to be very careful, especially if you're a woman in this society. But the idea being that if you go on a spiritual journey, the idea of being super spiritual should never be about being good and just reciting om, om, om. It should be about coming into the realization of your power and who you truly are. You are powerful. And you should be able to leverage that spirituality, that culture, to manifest miracles in your life. I'm not saying you're going to be manifesting $1 million. because that may not be within your destiny to achieve that. Did a reading for another person the other day, and he's looking to get in a polygamous relationship. So I went to the oracle and said, isn't his destiny to achieve that this year? The oracle said, no, it's not this year. And then the person was like, well, what can he do? Is there a ritual, there a mantra? I said, no, the oracle said it's not going to happen this year. It's not destined for you. Sekert has blocked the way for this year, but maybe next year. This is how we in ancient society obey the laws of God, is through understanding the cycles. There's a time and a place for everything. Now, I said the great thing about it is that his reading indicated for the totality of his life that he could get into a polygamous relationship, but not this year. I remember going to my priest that was training me in the Sekert temple. And we sat down to have lunch, and I said, my life's a mess. It's not working out. He goes, are you dead yet? I go, no. He says, so it ain't over. You got time. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. And he schooled me in a lot of Sekert things that were very deep. I never had thought about some of this stuff, how powerful Sekert was. And I was like, wow. He says, you must understand and master Sekert if you want to be a great filmmaker. I said, yeah. I said, you're absolutely right. Sekert is the ability to look at someone and say, I don't know if you know, it's equivalent to like that TV show House MD, where he's a doctor in New Jersey. But Sekert is the ability to look at someone and say they have a vitamin E deficiency. They have childhood trauma. Just by looking at them, being able to diagnose these things, because Sekert is very deep. And he was saying that Sekert can help my films really be good by going deep into characters that no one else could do. The only other person I've seen who can do this is two people, Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino, who have that character development that's deep. Everybody else has very two-dimensional characters. But I want you to know that it's going to take you some time to master your power. It doesn't come ready-made in a box. It is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger you get. I am a more powerful magician now than I was 20 years ago. Not because I found new books and stuff. Yeah, I found books and stuff and I learned from them. But the reason why is because for 20 years I have been practicing. For 20 years I have been meditating. You see, you're never going to be a master magician to manifest things in your life if you don't clean house. If you don't look at yourself and say, what is the drama I have going on that's preventing me from manifesting things in my life? You've got to look at that. Where am I deficient? Because inevitably, when you're trying to manifest things, your spirit is going to look at that ecosystem, that belief system. And if that belief system is predicated upon you not being able to do something like that, even though you may not consciously think that, if that belief system is predicated on that, then you're not going to manifest that thing. Case in point, if I say you're going to walk down the street, you're going to see $2 million in a bag, where your belief system hasn't gotten to the point where it can buy into that. It hasn't. So more than likely, it's going to default to the legacy belief system, which is that's not possible. So you've therefore ruined it for yourself. See, the reason why we engage in weird stuff, as some people call it, sleep deprivation. Let me explain it to you. The reason why we, or I should say I, or whatever you want, engage in extreme sleep deprivation or trance state, to where I take herbs to go deep into trance, is because I'm bridging the waking state, the waking world of this 3D reality with the dream state, the trance state. And when I merge the two, they cross over. And in crossing over for that moment, there is a bridge between the two worlds. That bridge is where you can manifest things. That bridge is where the mind says, hey, it's okay to talk. It's okay to talk to a donkey. Donkeys can talk. Hey, you can manifest $1 million. That can happen. Because in the dream state, the trance state, it's not logical. It's non-linear. It's symbolic. In the dream state, you could be sitting having coffee with a giraffe, and the giraffe is commenting on how bad the coffee is, and you don't even question that in the dream state. But in your logical waking state, if that happened, you would be freaking out questioning it. So in order to get around the fact that you don't believe you can find $2 million on the floor, I've got to take you into a deep trance state or sleep deprivation to where those two bridges can cross, to where I can implant that suggestion that, yes, you're going to find $2 million. And then the spirit will believe it and intake it and not question the fact that you will find $2 million. That's how it's done. This is how Christians or some ministers perform miracles, healing people and doing other things. They've learned the bridge, that dream state with the waking state, so that you're not consciously questioning anything, and the meridians and the energy are allowed to flow, and the belief systems are not conflicting with each other. They're in alignment with each other, and there's no damming up of that energy to prevent you from manifesting something. This is why in the Kemetic tree of life, there's what we call truisms. Those truisms are meant to replace the old belief system, because the old belief system is very limiting, very left brain linear. That's not how the universe operates. That's how this Western man's concept of the universe operates, but it's wrong. When the Big Bang happened, they sat in their academic circles and said, we have figured out how everything began with the Big Bang. That's their linear left brain talking. Then someone very, very brilliant came along and said, well, who said that was the first Big Bang? Maybe everything goes in cycles. Maybe it's not linear. And then they all got stuck, and they all were like, hey, maybe he's right. Maybe it's cyclical. That's how limiting their thinking was. That's how they get on their high horses and talk about this, talk about that, because they're so stuck in left brain thinking they can't really see out of that box until someone else comes and brings it up. This is why Carl Sagan, when the Dogon discovered that new star systems, Carl Sagan couldn't accept it, because you need a telescope to be able to see those star systems. How could they discover them? They were primitive people. But he didn't understand. He was thinking linear, like, and concrete, based on left brain thinking, like they had to have a telescope. Who said you need a telescope? Why can't consciousness travel the universe and see different star systems? And they still screwed up saying, well, aliens must have come and told them about it. Why can't consciousness, immaterial, abstract, metaphysical aspect to who we are, travel and see those star systems? Everything with them has to be a rocket ship or a telescope. Dozier, that's a good question. And the answer is yes for both. There are times when you'll manifest something and still remember the old reality, and the other times you'll manifest something and never remember the old reality. Case in point, we don't really know what happened what our real history is. They've replaced our history. We're not even sure if we were really slaves. That could be an implanted idea or concept to keep us oppressed in the here and now. So we have to be very critical and analytical in our investigation of history. We can't even be sure the dinosaurs were here. You see, the universe works like this, my friend. If I implant something deep within the recesses of your subconscious mind, if I tell you that Mickey Mouse is real and that he's your roommate, and I go deep enough in your subconscious mind, you will manifest Mickey Mouse. But however, to manifest Mickey Mouse in the present, there had to be a past. So you will quantum leap to a parallel reality where there is a past. Maybe you and Mickey Mouse met at Starbucks. And taking it a bit further, not only that, there must be a future that you and Mickey Mouse are headed to. That's how it works. And it's constantly changing too. I may now say, no, Mickey Mouse is not your roommate. An Ewok is your roommate. You're living with Ewoks now. And you met the Ewoks in LA. So this is called the Mandela effect. And many people have come into an understanding that this has happened, that there's a history that has branched off. And some people remember a different history. And even the maps that we look at today are different. People don't remember those maps correctly. They remember the continents being in different places. And the ruling elite know this, and they pull it to us every time. They implant new, what we call as now moment ideas. And those new now moment ideas create a past, and we never question this past. See, the trick that you must keep in mind is that there is no past, there is no future. The only thing that truly exists is the now moment. And the minute that you accept a belief in the now moment, it creates the idea of the past and the future for you. Many people don't get that. This is why there is no past life. It's all happening now. And what we call is the singularity. What is the singularity? All things are transpiring at once. You see, the singularity is similar to 5D. 5D is the absence of linear space-time. So if you don't have space or time, what do you have? All things are one, all things are transpiring at once. So when we found out there was 5D, we asked those physicists, you said there was a Big Bang. That denotes a beginning. So you're saying that prior to the Big Bang, there had to be time space. Then the scientists said, oh shoot, we've put ourselves in a conundrum. It's a quagmire. They made a serious mistake with the Big Bang theory. First, they said the Big Bang gave rise to time and space, but that's impossible because the mere fact that you said there was something that started like a Big Bang, then you are saying that prior to the Big Bang, there was time, there was space, because the Big Bang had to be in something, right? That's space. So by the very notion of that, you must now accept the fact that the Big Bang wasn't the first one. There had to be many more. So we have to now say it's not linear, it's cyclical. And I love you too, Netchum. Heteru blesses you. So let us keep that in mind, that African people were the people that pioneered the idea of the integration of the left and right hemisphere of the brain. Our philosophers, our scientists always bridged the two. It was their so-called, geniuses who were paralyzed in left brain thinking and screwed lots of things up. They still have a hard time wrapping their brains around the fact that there are multi-dimensions. Now they're saying, oh, there's only 12 dimensions. We do believe in dimensions, but there are only 12. Nope, still wrong. This is why you must understand that you are a multi-dimensional being. People come to me and says, well, I tried to manifest it and I couldn't. I said, well, you just screwed up right there, because you do realize you're a multidimensional being and there is a reality where you already have it. You do realize that, right? So the thing that I do that allows me to manifest is I really look at my past and really look at my faults and really look at my emotional hangups. And I try to purge and clear that out, because when you can do that, you can manifest easier. If a woman says, I just can't get a man, well, let's look at what happened in your past that is now blocking that energy from flowing, from manifesting a man. You see, I'm never going to tell you that these gurus, some of which I know, who talk about the law of attraction, reality transurfing, who come along and tell you all you have to do is feel your mate and they will manifest, or feel the money. I'm never going to down them, because I truly believe that they are sincere in trying to help people. But where they miss the mark is they don't look at the person's past, because your emotions, your negative emotions, will hamper any type of magical work you're doing. This is why I have some problems with the Wiccan community, because they're all predicated upon doing magic, but not so much as elevating their spirit. When I got into the priesthood, the king told me, he said, if you're going to be a master magician, you're going to have to become a better person. I didn't understand that. And now I kind of knew that you have to work on your conditionings, your emotional hangups. That's going to clear the way for the energy to flow for you to manifest things. So let me answer that question. This is the problem that we get into in Western society and Western teaching. It's not important or essential for you to understand you're a multidimensional being, and that you can manifest this, because many people who have done manifestations have no clue that they're a multidimensional being, have not used mantras and things of that nature. God is a good God and a loving God. God will let you use certain magical powers by not having any idea of what magic is. God will make that accessible to you if you obey by certain rules. It's not a matter if you're understanding that you're a multidimensional being, that you have power. That's useless to understand that. What is important is that you feel what you're doing, that you connect on a frequency level, not an intellectual level, but a frequency level. If I can walk around and embody the frequency of $500 and feel it, and not live with the expectancy of it manifesting, it'll come to me. That's the trick. Simple as that. I don't need to say, I'm powerful, I'm multidimensional. I don't need to say all that. I just need to embody that feeling of having $500 and truly believing that it will come to me, or it already has come to me. Too many people get caught up in they get hung up on the different things, the nomenclature that really is not going to assist them. I rather give you this, Candace, so you know. It's more important for you to understand that everything is Maya than it is for you to be understanding of your multidimensional being. Because the mere fact that you understand that everything's Maya and illusion will actually allow the energy to flow so you can manifest. Because if you buy into the Western sensibility where everything is solid, concrete, then your belief system won't allow the energy to flow. It's going to be very difficult. But if you truly accept that, because the first stage of my life and much of the work was done around accepting the belief system that nothing was real and that I could manipulate time and space. When you start doing that and actually believe it to the core of your being, your world changes. The possibilities start to open up. You become the cause of the things in the world and not the effect. You start to quantum leap. So make sure you understand that it's not important to grasp the concept of the different dimensions and the 5D, the 3D. That's good, and I want you to know that. But I'd rather have you understand that, for example, and we'll use the $500 thing. If I can remember a time when I came into money and I can feel that, and that energy is not blocked from my past, it'll be much easier for me to manifest that in the present. If my parents belittled me, made me feel low, and I develop a sense of low self-esteem, it is going to be extremely difficult for me to manifest anything unless I start to identify with the true essence of who I am, which is God. And that is one of the worst things that someone can do. There's actually two really bad things. The first thing is have you believe in an outside God like a Buddha, like not a Buddha, but like a Jesus or Muhammad. And the other thing is to condition you so much to where you have a sense of low self-esteem. And this is what the society has done to the majority of African American people, is to embed a low self-esteem within you. That really makes you impotent. That really hampers your power. This is why you have to circumvent that. Because if you try to attack the idea of low self-esteem head on, you're battling the Hydra. Because the idea of low self-esteem, and many think tank institutions have put out reports on this, talking about how African Americans have a sense of low self-esteem. This is how you can market to them certain things. Diabolical. You can't beat that Hydra because it's an ergobore now. It is a spiritual entity that exists in the ether. You call it a low self-esteem. And trying to battle it head on, it's too strong. It has indoctrinated too many people into its ideology. So you're going to have to accept a new belief system. In other words, me telling myself in state of trance, I value myself, I love myself, is good, but you're still battling the Hydra. The better thing to do is say, I am God or goddess, and the world is Maya. your brain will accept that. It won't reject that. But it may reject the fact when you say, I love myself. I have high self-esteem, because the low self-esteem is so powerful. You see, the herbivore is race-based. It has like an umbilical cord attached to African Americans where it's feeding ideas and thoughts, which we call cultural norms. Ideas of low self-esteem, backwards behavior, sabotaging their own liberation. Yeah, this herbivore does that. That's its job. It's been here for a long time, thousands of years. This is why we have to get out of the idea that we need to take physical recourse or means to get out of this situation. We can work on a very metaphysical, spiritual level to get out of a situation. People don't realize that. So the herbivore is powerful. It's been here for centuries. It's influenced your parents, their parents, their parents. So battling it directly may not be the best idea. This is why our ancestors put together the idea of Osir and Aset, the god and the goddess. Identify with them. Understand the world is an illusion, that nothing is real. Then the power will start to flow. See, the ministers and the pastor ministers in the church want you to believe in them. So you can tithe and give them money and give them your power. You're giving them your power, which makes them more powerful and keeps you in the state of servitude. So this is what I mean by purging the old way, the old ideas. As a child, you are an ancestor. You're not a child, you're an ancestor. You've come back. You see? Your parents' job is to help nurture you to adulthood, but also to help you remember who you were in that past life. And that's how we have to look at every child. And that's how we have to look at ourselves, as consciousness, as God, man, God, woman. Not as the physical being, the physical body, the physical person. That's where we get stuck. And we try to play their game and we lose. Because they don't believe in those concepts, those abstract concepts that you're a consciousness, you're a God, man, God, woman. They don't believe that. They believe in an outside real God up in this heaven place. But we have to teach them otherwise. And we have to teach our people otherwise. I saw this dating thing. A lot of dating things are going on YouTube now. Person was saying, oh, well, ideally I like to date a Black person, or, and they asked this person was biracial, which the person was biracial. They asked the person, what are you? And they said, oh, my parents are Black and white, biracial. What she should have said was, I'm consciousness. I was neither created nor will I be destroyed. I will always be. That's who you are. You're not a race, you're not a gender, you're a consciousness. Experiencing these things to a physical body that is a race, is a gender, but that's temporary. That's all that is, it's temporary. See, they can't have you accept that notion. That's a real damning notion, to accept the fact that you are consciousness. What happens if the world starts talking like that? They can't separate you, they can't label, they can't define you. Their control mechanisms are done. People say, well, are you going to marry, who are you going to marry? Black woman, white woman? I said, whoever the oracle says I should marry. As simple as that. Person comes along. If they catch my interest, I'll do the oracle reading. If the oracle reading says yes, move forward, then that's where I'm going to go. I'm not going to base anything off my emotions or ideas, or because you see, you're bringing drama to the table. All your hangups, all your prejudices are coming to the table. Person may look good, smell good, but then you do the oracle reading and you say, this person's going to be a disaster in your life if you get with them. You must understand that. So be very careful. This is how we get to the higher level of things in life. Should I go and take that job? Well, only if the oracle says I should. I'm not going to base whether I take that job on my mind, because I don't know what's going on, the politics that are going on behind the scenes. And they're always going to make it seem like a job is good. No one's going to say, don't take this job. They're not going to tell you that. So keep these things in mind to help you on your spiritual journey. Start working on those things in your past. Clear those things out so you can have a better future, so you can have a better present. And that your magic, your energy can flow. And there's no obstruction. So I want to thank you all you Magi's for tuning in. This is Qesankh Ma Keperu, son of Ma'an Tahuti. Ma'an is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amun Ra.